I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be. Hello, everyone. It's Todd Scrima and Robyn LaVassaur and the Tiger Jimmie Reed, and we are doing a podcast for branch managers this time, and it's the law of attraction equals retention, how to hold on to your loan officers. This is a timely topic. We're doing it towards the beginning of 2022. I said this on another podcast, but the industry did 4.4 trillion last year, projected to be 2.2 trillion this year. Flip-flop from over 75% refinance to 75% purchase. It's a crazy time. You got all kinds of craziness coming out. People are scared. And branch managers are scared of all these people. I mean, the recruiters are crazy, crazy, crazy. So how do we do this? Robyn, why don't you start us out with a comment? What do you retaining your people? How the heck do we do it?
Well, my first comment is, why does Jim get a nickname every podcast, but I don't? That's what I wonder.
Well, it didn't come to me real quick.
I'm feeling the buddy thing with
Robyn.
Hey, that's not true, Robyn. He calls you the lovely Robyn LaVassaur.
You're the tiger, and I'm lovely.
I'm definitely not lovely, girl. I'm a lot of things.
Mom Boss LaVassaur. Mom Boss LaVassaur.
Oh, Lord. I'll go without the titles. Okay, let's jump in. So talking about, we were just doing another, like Todd said, talking on the last one to loan officers about what to do in this market. And here's the thing. They are searching for somebody to tell them what to do. That's the truth. They're searching for a leader. And the problem is people are out there preying on fear because fear sells. And so we've got recruiters coming in every direction, putting everything in the, in the toolbox out there. And if there is a bad day, let's say your loan officer just lost a deal to rate. I promise your recruiter is going to be just timely enough to call and say their rates are lower. Hey, you got a recruiter out there saying that they've got better product, better technology, better, whatever it may be, it's all over the place, and fear will attach to that. It creates doubt and uncertainty, and then intrigue is where that leads. And so how do we prevent that from happening? Well, I will tell you what, it is incredibly important that you are leading in your branches, that you are getting ahead of the mental game that they are having to play every single day. And so one of the strategies that we have, so, Dave and I obviously run a, $1 billion region essentially, and we're literally looking at our loan officers. And one of the things that we're doing is being very visible with them, but we're also mandating visibility back. So we mandate that our loan officers are visible, meaning that they cannot hide from us, period. They are on screen. If we are or in office, whichever is, applicable, if you will, and we require that they're there and that they know their numbers and understand their numbers and that they're willing to do the work. If they are not visible, last night I had somebody miss the meeting yesterday. Literally my texts last night were to every single one of them, hey, let's get on a call. What's going on? One of them ended up writing me back. I had 4 deals roll in the month of February, which had me a 0 for March, a 0. Now, because of just that in itself, he has a list of 10 other things that he feels like are wrong in his world right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason for that is fear. And Todd, you say a great thing about catastrophizing things. Listen, he's not wrong about any of it, but he needs to be heard. But first, he had to be seen and acknowledged that he was ultimately going to pull back, right? He was about to hide. And so I think one of the things that we do is we assume that everything's okay, like no news is good news. I can tell you this, when it comes to loan reps right now, no news is bad news.
Bad news.
No news is bad news. We have to be so visible and require visibility back so that we can be fully engaged in getting them through the everyday battles. There's a hurdle at every 50 feet, right? And so how do we help them as leaders through those hurdles? I think that's a big one. What are you doing, Jimmie?
Well, that's good stuff. I think fear is big in terms of how they're feeling. I think recruiting is big because companies are scared. All those things are true. But I think in order to, so I would much rather hold on, Todd, to the loan officers I have than go get new ones. Like, it's not even close. Okay. And so do my actions reflect that? That's what I have to ask all the branch managers. Do my actions reflect that I'd rather hold on to the guys and girls I have than go get new ones? And so who am I hanging out with? Who am I talking to? And who am I talking about? To reflect that, right? I don't want to be talking about the recruits I'm working on and how close I am and spending time with those people. I want to be talking about my guys and what they're doing well and I want to spend time with them so that I have a culture of a brother and sisterhood. The second thing I'll say is they have to see me working hard as their leader, as a leader by example. So I make my sales calls with my door open. I get someone on the phone. I walk around the office on my cell phone. I do my consultations by video. Sometimes I ask the clients if I can record them, and then I'll send them out as part of a sales training. They got to see me doing the work, not talking about doing the work. I think that's so important because, listen, the mortgage business stays the same and it changes at the same time. It's a back to basics relationship business. But for everybody that's going through this downturn, it's the first time it ever happened.
Yeah.
Right? And so how will I know how to get through it unless I show them I'm getting through it with them? So I really think that leadership by example is by far number one. And number two is spending time with my loan reps and my recruits. This weekend, I'm not my recruits, my loan reps. I'm taking all my guys and we're going to Tahoe. Every year we do it. I bring my sons. So my sons hang out with my loan reps. That's family atmosphere. Plus, my sons see these guys and girls as their mentors. That's really good for me. I get to share parenting. That's really good, right? And it's just a connection. And my guys and girls know I'll go to battle for them. And I swear, I believe they will go to battle for me. And that's the way to re-recruit is like, I say this to my loan reps, Todd, I'm like, you got to have friends in life. So why not pick ones that are realtors that send you a lot of business? You got to hang out with somebody.
Yeah.
You might as well hang out with people that do what you do and you can reciprocate business together. And the same thing happens with loan reps. I used to have a terrible culture for a period of time, Todd, because I had loan officers here for the wrong reasons. I was greedy. I was scared about not making enough money, not because I liked them and I was like-minded. So if you're running a branch, make sure you work with people you like, because if you don't, it's a miserable existence.
Yeah, that helps a
Isn't there a
lot.
law of attraction there? I mean, that's part of this, right? The law of attraction. Right now, people are scared, and so if you as a leader are standing in the hallway saying, "Gosh, let me go call and figure out why that loan didn't get approved," or "Let me go call and figure out, let's battle this together." Like law of attraction. So if you are a voice of negativity, if you are scared along with your people, there is no longer a leader, right? There is no longer a leader. And when people are looking around for a leader and you've already joined them and their fears, you are no longer a leader. And so I think one of the things there is you need to, decide. I was having a conversation with the branch manager the other day and I said, one of the issues that sometimes happens here is that you tend to battle something as if that's the way to help your loan officer instead of sometimes pause and say, "Hey, what are we really trying to do here?" And it's the same analogy. I say this when it comes to a realtor. If I was on the phone with a realtor and I said, "I'm sorry, I got the worst underwriter on this deal," I just hurt myself. Hurt myself because I'm saying out loud. And then the next deal that realtor sends me, they're going to be like, "Can you not have that one
Well,
one
they're not going to send
underwriter
you
on
another
there?"
deal,
Right?
Robyn. You lost that realtor. What are you talking about?
You
That one's
lost that
gone.
realtor. You're exactly right. So when you're doing that with your loan rep, "Oh, you heard from another company. Let me go see what I could do here." You got to be sure of who you are, why you are where you're at, and why they are with you. And they've got to be sure of it as well. And if you're not sure of yourself, then your loan reps are going to feel it, right? It's like a dog smelling fear. And so you've got to be aware of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I think that's something, Jimmie, I admire you on. Your feet are so firmly planted with why you are where you know that loans can be done anywhere. You also know that problems exist anywhere, right? More loans, more problems. No loans, more problems, right? That's the truth. It's all problems. So they exist everywhere. So what do you do? And that's the attraction part that I think is people like to be around people that are sure. It feels better. I don't like to be with a doctor who's like, "I don't really know." No, thank you. I'd like to be around somebody who's sure. So I think that being a leader is a privilege as a branch manager. To have loan reps that choose to work for you is an honor. And so how do we make sure that we are sure about where we're headed, and what we're doing and who we work for and why we work for them? Because if you're sure about where you're at, then they're going to be sure about where they're at.
100%. Guys, there is a lot of stuff going on. And, Summit has a few new branches we started. We also lost a couple branches. And I had this, I'm going somewhere with this. I got 2 points. One is when that happened, I was like so frustrated. I can't tell you. I mean, I took this group from literally zero, didn't have a branch, to last couple of years made over $7 million each year. I was pretty frustrated because I felt that's not fair. I did my job. I did do my job. It's also true that they are free spirits and they can make other choices.
Mhm.
So one concept which is kind of plays with your brain is two things can be true at once. That's not
Mm.
normally how we think and feel, but it's odd to even say it out loud,
It is.
right? So two things can be true at once. You could be frustrated about the market and still sell your butt off,
Yeah.
as an example, right? Um,
Huh.
the second thing that I would say, and this is something, this is a leadership skill that a lot of people really struggle with, but I find that everyone has this skill. And to sound a little out there, it's being an empath. That's what some people call it.
A what?
So, an empath.
An empath.
Empath stands for empathetic.
Got it.
So, let me do a role play with Robyn. I'm a branch manager. Robyn's uh, walking by with a cup of coffee, and Robyn's always happy, and we've been working together a few years. And I say, "Hey, good morning, Robbie," and she says, "Hi," and she goes in her office. Not the normal, "Hey, boss," and
Mm.
I caught her normal posture is like this with her cup of coffee, and I just saw her today, and she was just a little leaned over, and she was a little, "Hey, boss."
Emotional intelligence.
So here's the
Pay
role
attention.
play. I walk into Robyn's office. "Hey, you got 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I
I
noticed
should have
just
said that sadder. Yes.
Robyn, I noticed you just seemed a little off. Are you okay?
It's been a tough week.
Okay. Tell me what's going on. How can I help?
I'm overwhelmed. I got shopped by two borrowers and lost deals. One of my best realtors didn't show up for the coffee that we were supposed to have.
Mm.
And honestly, Todd, I only have a couple transactions closing.
Hmm. Well, last year was a great year, so to come off of that and then go through what we're going through, it's tough. When you think of all that, Robyn, what's your biggest concern?
Honestly, I think my biggest concern is not making it, is not having the money to pay my bills or to be successful. I mean, I think that's probably the number one.
So we coach on your personal budget. I remember a couple of years ago you actually had a negative net worth.
Yeah.
Now you have 50,000. You paid off all that debt, and you have 50. Last time I coached you a couple of weeks ago, you had $50,000 in cash.
I don't want to touch it.
And no, and we should not touch it. So, how long could you? What are your bills each month that you got to pay? Like, hey, I got to pay all these bills.
They are a little under 6,000.
Okay. So, how long could we survive if you made no money, not a dime?
Ugh. About 9 months, maybe a little longer.
Okay. What's the probability of going 9 months and not closing a loan? You closed
Oh gosh,
68
I
last
would
year.
go work at Costco. That yeah, I'd have to go do something.
Okay. I want you to look at me. I will never let that happen to you. Ever.
Mm.
Ever. Now, the last coaching call I knew you were down, I felt your energy this morning. Is that going to attract loans or repel loans?
Repel.
Okay. Now, we will work on this. I want you to know I believe in you. I've been doing this a long time. I've rarely ever seen someone as talented, as motivated, driven, and just a good hearted person as you. So we will make it and we will be fine. And we won't remember this in 5 years. We won't. I promise you. Now, let's call Cindy. I know Cindy, your best realtor that didn't show. Put her on speakerphone right now. Let's see if we can get a hold of her.
Oh, this is
Okay.
why we work for Todd Scrima, Jimmie. Good leadership, right?
Got to lift them up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just that's what I would say on those things. Like we got to pick up on those things, guys.
Yeah, I think you're on something big. The same thing happens with just to grab one more point because it's super timely and it's the same thing. A lot of the loan officers that work for us, a lot of the branch managers that work for you, they have this team built and there's not enough loans for it. And their thought is, I'll just go get more leads. And I'll just go get more leads. And some of them will be able to, and some of them won't. And the ones who won't, it's my job to protect their money. As their boss, as a loan officer works for me, I worry about their paycheck. I think more than they do. I swear it. And so I got to go have those tough conversations about, okay, let's share resources. Let's take one or two people off your team for a while and reallocate them over here that we need some help to save you some money. And then when things change, we'll change again. But to have those conversations and brainstorm with them to protect their money. Because, it's just hard to make money right now. No one's making as much money. Get over it. That does not work.
No.
And do not, if you hear yourself saying that as a leader, boy, you better suck that one back in and come up with something else because it's not what I want to hear. And it's certainly not what I'm going to say.
I think you guys are bridging the gap beautifully between, as leaders, it's important that not only we pay attention to the emotions and the deals and the feels around everything, but the money piece at the end of the day. None of us showed up to do this for free every single day. We did it for the income. And so as a leader, you have to hone into both items. You have to hone into both so that you can connect those two both tactically and emotionally.
Yep.
Yes. So guys, there's some tactics here and there's some explanations from a few people that are pretty damn good at this, and it's a journey. It's not a sprint. A lot of us have been doing this for a long time. I've been through all kinds of crazy markets. I mean, I was telling Jana this morning, I went through the meltdown. I went through TRID. I went through starting a mortgage bank. I started day one, didn't know how to spell mortgage. I mean, a lot of us have been through a lot. And for
Frank Dodd.
For this, what was it?
Frank Dodd Act. My goodness.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. So remember, okay, just to piece that together, because some
I know
people
where you're going to
remember
go with this.
When you had all that reform happen after 2008, we thought the world was coming to an end.
It was the best thing that ever happened to us.
It was the best thing that ever happened.
It was the best thing that ever happened in the mortgage business. Crazy.
So, there's all kinds of things that we could talk to, but on this, we're talking about how to hold on to our people. And my simple closing comment is care about them. Doesn't mean that that no one's ever going to leave you. Doesn't mean that, but it means it starts with your heart and the tactics and development that show them that you truly care, instead of just being, I don't know, dude, there's the phone, there's the desk, don't talk to me. And I see a lot of that kind of leadership, and that's not going to work. Robyn, some closing comments?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're wrapping it up beautifully. I think that the as we're some of your leaders as branch managers, and that's the point, right? You should take fears and complaints up, but it takes leadership to recognize when people are scared, and a lot of people are scared right now, and there's pride involved in that. And so I think just going deep, caring about your people, rolling your sleeves up, and being clear on the path that we're all on, and trusting the process is what we all need to do, continuing to walk forward. We'll be okay.
Mine is just spend time with them. And I don't mean spend a lot of 5 minutes. I mean spend a long amount of time with them at one time, because eventually it will come out. Whatever it is, if you're with them a long time, I mean, my dad taught me that one in parenting. Put Dylan in the car where you're not looking at each other and go on a 5-hour drive. It will come out. Yeah.
Very
so that's
good.
what I say. Just spend time with them.
I love it. Great stuff, guys. Branch managers, hold on to your people. We gave you some tactics, and let's get through a crazy market and have fun doing it, because this is when we learn the most. Thank you, guys. Have a great month.